We are pleased to be joined by the athletic director of San Jose State, entering year number 3. Jeff Konya joins us here. And Jeff, I guess I'll blame you. I don't know. Year 3, we talked to Chevin Cordero, who's the Mountain West preseason offensive player of the year. You start at USC.
Yeah.
And you host Oregon State. Are you to blame for this? I mean, what are you doing to your team?
Partially to blame. We actually had at Ohio State scheduled this for 23, but it was kind of weird that it was going to be at Ohio State at Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of backed off of the Ohio State game and then added USC. This was pre the Oklahoma head coach going to USC. We thought that would be a great game. And, of course, now they're going to be preseason top 5. And Oregon State was the back end of a home and home. They're preseason top 15.
Yep.
So it's a super attractive start to the schedule. I'm sure Brent Brennan isn't thinking that.
He's going to join us tomorrow.
I look like a genius,
He's going to join us tomorrow, by the way, in studio. So we'll ask Coach about the small challenge that they have, Shaun, to start the year.
Yeah, but it's a conference-wide thing for the most part. And it's kind of interesting because the landscape has evolved and changed. Now that the conferences are expanding, the college football playoff is now expanding. If we rewind to a decade ago, the only opportunity a non-Power 5 school had was to schedule the big boys early and try and get a win. So these schedules are made years in advance. But now that it's going to the highest-rated Group of 5 team and you automatically get in, I would imagine as an athletic director at a Group of 5, there's no incentive now to schedule, these massive, high-profile games that you're probably not going to win most years.
Well, I mean, the schedule is always something that's really interesting when you look at the overall body of work. A competitive game against USC necessarily wouldn't hurt us at the end of the review. For us, it really comes down to the conference. Mm-hmm. And if in our conference, and you said on balance, plays a pretty aggressive schedule, has performed on that schedule, and we've had several teams that have been in the BCS in the iteration or tracking toward the playoffs in this iteration. That if we're going to be in number 1 or number 2, and we're going to be a top 6 conference in the new playoff system, then we're going to get that opportunity to go to the playoffs, and that's ultimately what all of us are looking for.
Jeff Konya, who is the athletic director for San Jose State, is joining us here in studio. And, a lot to get to for what your program and what your school is doing as an athletic department. But as a conference, I think there is a lot of opportunity. And we mentioned the Mountain West is here at Circa doing their media days. And we're going to have 4 coaches in studio tomorrow. But let's look at it, right? 3 Mountain West schools are playing week 0. High-profile opportunity for eyeballs. You guys are playing, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner in USC. San Diego State gets FS1. And then you fast forward to week 1. You guys are on big CBS on Sunday in an island game at home, unveiling, the renovations that have been going on for a couple of years. You look at Boise State, they're going on the road to Washington. That's an ABC game at 3:30 in the afternoon on the East Coast. You've got Nevada visiting USC. We've talked about it. How about, Wyoming is on big CBS that night too. So the opportunity there for this conference, the eyeballs are really going to hone in. UCLA is going to San Diego State, also on primetime CBS. So, the Mountain West, Jeff, this year is really, including San Jose State, getting an opportunity to shine early on in the year.
Exactly. And if we perform on that schedule, there's going to be conversation about the Mountain West. I think one of the things we're looking into, and if you hear the commissioner's comments, is we're trying to get the brand of the Mountain West be more national. And so when people are thinking about West Coast football, the Mountain West is one of the conferences that they're thinking about. But for us to be on national CBS in that week 1 against Oregon State, that's a huge window for us because there's no other football going on in that window on Labor Day. And we haven't had a national telecast since 1982 for regular season in San Jose State. So if you think about that, this is like really an earth-shattering opportunity for us to put our best foot forward. Certainly the football team has to do their part, but for us to showcase the new building, the new $70 million building, and all the amenities and all the growth that's happened in our program is going to be something that's going to be wonderful for us.
Talking once again to the athletic director here, or not here. He's here in studio, but San Jose State.
He can be our AD.
I'll be here.
Yeah,
I'll be here in Vegas. I like
He
Vegas.
can be the AD. We will talk about it. But no, when we talk about what we're going to see, what the people are going to see, it. When I've watched San Jose State games these last couple of years, and got an opportunity to see it up close and personal last August when I was out in the Bay Area, it was kind of an awkward viewing. Oregon State was doing the same thing, kind of one half of the field.
Right.
So what are people going to see come that Sunday, CBS, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, when San Jose State does host Oregon State? Tell us about the renovations that have been going on.
Well, San Jose State Spartan Stadium, now Sefcu Stadium, has been around since the 1920s.
Right.
So over the years, there have been improvements in upper deck. We did a video board a couple of years ago. It was about a $4 million project, new sounds, but certainly the crown jewel is going to be the $70 million building that's going to be on the east side of the structure, and that's going to be in plain view of the cameras. So when CBS is shooting the game, you're going to see this building in the background. What it affords us is a jewel for our football program to train, really for all of 22 of our sports to have a place to call home. But for game day specifically, that entire building is going to be transformed to high-end premium seating. And so you're going to see some of the liveliest and best of our fan base in that space, in the club area, in the suites, having a good time and cheering on the Spartans.
It's interesting because another seismic shift, I think, in the landscape of college football, and as a conference, I'm sure you guys have a lot of conversations about it, was an arms race. 5 to 7 years ago, it was about we got to have new buildings, new stadiums, enhanced this, that. It seems that it's shifting to more of a NIL type of environment. As a conference, how are you guys approaching the NIL portion of college football?
Well, and hopefully at some point there's going to be some stability or leveling of the NIL rules, and hopefully Congress affords the NCAA the ability to be more progressive in that space. But right now it's kind of a free-for-all. As far as NIL, what I actually think that's going on with the modern-day prospect is they want authentic relationships. Mm-hmm. I mean, first and foremost, they want to be able to connect with their teammates, connect with the coaches, and that family environment is kind of a buzzword. I think that's first and foremost. But certainly when it comes down to the conversations about, in terms of the monetary piece, what's the scholarship, this Alston money, how does that play in, how's the NIL, you have to have a solution for all that. And you have to be able to provide and articulate a way for them to be able to earn those dollars that they think they should be able to earn playing college football.
San Jose State Athletic Director Jeff Konya hanging with us here in studio. Mountain West Media Day is going on. Chevin Cordero, the quarterback of San Jose State, who was in studio earlier.
I tell him everything he knows, by the way.
Yeah. Did you need to get frequent visits out to the island too? I mean, you gotta make sure you're very keeping the family happy.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're out there on a regular basis, but. Mountain West and Vegas have kind of been hand in hand for so many years. You think about Thomas and Mack and hosting the Mountain West Championships in basketball for so many years, Jeff. So, the relationship with this city for the Mountain West, UNLV being a part of it, and, for their sake, hopefully they're lifting that program. 5 wins last year. They're trying to get to a bowl for the first time in, I think, a decade or so. But, the relationship between the conference and Vegas to you is what?
It's very important. I mean, Las Vegas has done a great job transforming itself into being a sports mecca with so many conference championships in terms of basketball, but just in terms of the enthusiasm and now the professional teams that have come into this space. The Mountain West was one of the first pioneers that brought their tournament here so many years ago. But I think what they've found through the longevity and the history and the relationship with Vegas is that our fan bases want to come here. This is a fun place to be. This is a lot of energy. Our student athletes want to play here. So this is obviously a very, very important and key city for the Mountain West, and it's certainly a very important and key city for San Jose State. We have a lot of alumni in this area. When we play UNLV on Thanksgiving week, we invite all the Spartans to come and make that a very difficult place for the home team. No disrespect to our friends with the Running Rebels, but
I think I could think of a couple better places. Not so bad place to spend Thanksgiving here. A little hang out circa and head on down to Allegiant Stadium for a little Saturday afternoon game there.
We only got a minute left. 2020, San Jose State was the Mountain West Conference champion in football. What would it mean for the program if they could get back and ascend to that platform this year?
I think it'd be great. It'd be a great testament. I think one of the things I was asked after that magical season was, what does that mean for the football program? I said, well, it means we had one great year, but what we need is to sustain excellence over several years. And now going to a second bowl game within 3 years and having competitive teams and playing these attractive schedules and being competitive. If we're performing on these schedules, playing attractive, setting attendance records every year, that's how you build a program. And I think that's what we want. I think that's what Coach Brendan wants. Ask him tomorrow.
We will. Coach Brendan, head coach of San Jose State, in studio tomorrow. Jeff Konya, athletic director of the Spartans, who open up with an easy start of the season, week 0 at USC. Very easy victory.
They'll be ranked if they start 4-0.
We'll put a W by that. Jeff, great stuff. There he is, athletic director of San Jose State.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.